Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Up on the stand today, we have Phineas. And Phineas is in rut. I've been talking about that for a little bit. The smell has now reached peak volume, and he is covered in pee. And so this grooming is going to be fun. I wish you could smell it. It's, I've gone kind of nose blind to it, right? So yes, when I walk in the barn, I can smell it and I know what's happening. What I forget is how much it actually makes me smell after I spend all this close proximity with him. It takes about 2 showers and 3 changes of clothes before you don't have buck scent on your hands and in your hair and all the other places. I exaggerate just a hair, but not by much. Just a hair, no pun intended. However, that's just part of the process. The funny part is my typical routine is, I groom the goats. I'm all hot and sweaty, or I'm all dirty or whatever. So I jump into stall cleaning right after that, which exasperates the problem, right? Hot, dirty, sweaty. And then I usually head inside and do a workout, right? So that I get that all done in one fell swoop. And when I'm doing the girls, that's not a problem at all. When I do the boys, especially when they're in rut, I'm swinging my arms around and you're kind of looking, thankfully it's private, right? It's in my house. I'm not out at public, or this would not be possible. But yes, I'm smelling it and I'm like, oh my God, it's buck scent. I have to finish. It's very much motivation to get it all done quickly so I can get in the shower. In other news, we've had, magnificent weather. This happens to be Labor Day weekend, so that'll give you an idea. It's a holiday weekend in the US, and it'll give you an idea of how far in advance I am. In fact, probably good time for a programming note, right? With the double groomings per week posts, I am just about caught up with my backlog. So we will probably have to go back to a once a week posting on Saturday mornings in a week or two, because I won't have anybody to post on Wednesday mornings. And I hope you will not hate me for that. We'll catch up again at some point. There'll be a lull. Actually, there'll probably be a huge lull when we go into baby goat season, because nobody wants to see me stand and groom adult goats when we have baby goats around. You want to see the baby goats. And we've been talking about breeding for a couple of weeks now, and it is right up on time. So this weekend we click the clock over to September. September is the month that I prefer to expose my does and hopefully get them pregnant. You see him squatting. He's super extra sensitive on his back end right now. Unlike the does, who are sensitive on their back end sort of year round, he's just sensitive now because he is fired up in rut. And all those parts and pieces back here have to be ready to rock and roll. So that is why he's sort of squatting and stepping away. I'm actually surprised he's being as well behaved as he is. The vocalization is, I don't think you can hear the girls smashing around in their stall right now, but he can, and he can smell them too. And a couple of them have gone into heat. It's a little early for this cycle. So the ones that are going into heat now will not be bred until late September. And then there'll be a round that'll start to go into heat in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And that'll be our first grouping that we expose. And it's a fine line, right? Like, what's the difference if I expose them now versus 2 weeks from now? In New Jersey, the difference could be the difference between, temperatures below 0 and temperatures that stay above freezing. It's not a guarantee. February in New Jersey is very unpredictable. but it tends to be a little bit better than January. So I really aim for February 15th, like Valentine's Day babies and later, all before April, if at all possible, right? So that's my window. And ideally, I want them all to happen together. So is that going to happen this year? Only time will tell. It did not happen last year. We actually ended up with 2 separate rounds of babies, which worked out just fine. It just made for a longer kidding season. So we had a first round of babies born in February as planned. Then we had another round, actually 3 rounds, frankly. We had another round that was born in early March, and then another round that was born in late March. And that's really the one that, I don't want to have happen again if at all possible. But it worked out this year. And of course, we make it work because nature is what nature is. So why am I not spending a whole lot of time with Phineas right now? You would think he's in rut, he's covered in pee, his coat's a disaster, I should be spending forever with him. And you're correct, except that he's just going to continue to make it worse for the next 6 weeks while we get through breeding season. And so there's a point where you just have to sort of accept that, we must have had another power outage. My lights went out. We've had some power issues this morning, and it's really weird because there's 0 weather problems. So yeah, we're going to be grooming in sort of the dark. That's okay. It's just fine. There's nothing wrong. I can see, you can see, I'm sure, I hope. That's funny. I don't know that I've ever been down at the barn when a power went out, because typically it would happen during a storm. So it's a beautiful day. It's actually gorgeous weather. There is no reason for power to be out, which tells me somebody probably took down a pole. Voila, we're back. I don't know if we're on generator or not, because the generator is up at the house. But this is why we have a generator that runs both the barn and the house. And it kicks on automatically. Because of the delay, I'm going to assume that the generator did not kick in and it just went back to regular power. But who knows? Either way, this is the reason we have it, right? I talked to you once before about having my refrigerator down here with all my medications in it, and how critical it is to keep those medications at temperature. And this is exactly why, right? Now that was a short one. I think I hear the generator running out there, so I'm assuming we're on generator now. Because what I was going to say is, based on the fact that the weather's absolutely gorgeous and clear and there's no wind, the likelihood is that somebody had an accident and took out a pole or something like that that caused the outage, because it really shouldn't be weather related. There's no reason for it today. But anyway, so yeah, that's why we have a generator. That's why I'm comfortable keeping my medications down here at the barn. The fridge stays at temp. I will check it to make sure right after I'm finished with Mr. Phineas here. So there you go. Convenient topic for today. Completely unexpected. That's really funny. So anyway, what I was originally saying is, why am I moving so quickly with Phin if he's such a mess? And the answer, again, is really straightforward. I could torture him for a long time and really try and get every bit of dirty, clumpy, urine-stained hair out of him. And at this stage in breeding season, it is not worth it. He is gearing up to become even worse, right? He has not yet been exposed to the girls. Once he has his first exposure with the girls, which is coming in a week or 2, his behavior around, there you go, I know, buddy. His behavior around being sexy, there's the starlings yelling, will actually ratchet up even further. And he will become even more prone to urinate on himself, make himself sexy, make himself, beautiful for the girls. And so there's a line between like keeping his coat pristine and recognizing that nature's going to do what nature's going to do. And sometimes you just got to accept it. Know that, you know, at the end of October, he's going to need a bit more attention and a bit more work, and not torture him, right? I'm not here to have him up on the stand and spend 2 hours trying to get every last bit of urine-soaked hair straightened up, because in 10 minutes from now, it will be exactly the same as if I had not done it. What I'm doing is making sure that all the stuff up here, especially, that he isn't going to pee on himself, stays clean, stays, you know, mat-free. If we can do that, then we work through his underneath and his undercoat after breeding season. And that will take me a little bit longer time. I will probably at that point fire up the water heater and do shampoos, right? But there's no point right now. And I don't want to spend all that time on the stand making him miserable, making me miserable. It's just an experience that doesn't work for either one of us. And one of the reasons that my goats are fairly well behaved on the stand, certainly you've seen some of them give me a run for my money, but they're fairly well behaved on the stand because they know that I'm gonna take it as far as I can take it, and then I'm gonna leave them alone, right? I know, let's get your beard. It is not something that I am going to make them suffer for, and they know that. You know, when we did spring cleanup and things were bad, we did one side at a time. So we took 2 sessions instead of 1 session. They know that I'm going to be stubborn as they are, so they kind of don't fight. I know, this is the hard part. They don't fight me too much. Let's get the eye boogies, please. Yeah, they don't fight me too much because they kind of respect, we've learned with each other that I'm not going to give up, right? So they can be as ornery as they want and I'm still going to get it done. But I'm also not going to be ridiculous in my expectations, I guess is the best way to put it. You know, he's in rut, right? He's focused on other things. This is the last thing he wants me to be doing. And I need to recognize that, respect that, do what I can to keep him in appropriate shape, and then let him go be a goat. And then we'll work on it. And it's a little bit harder for me. Takes a little bit longer for him. But once he's out of rut, all the girls are pregnant, you know, he's not focused on that. His tolerance for being on the stand, I know, buddy. I know. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, this is time to be done back here. So his tolerance to be on the stand, to be handled, to be touched is so much better after breeding season. And so, you know, you pick your battles a little bit and you recognize what's the right thing to do for the goats. I got his hooves done. I've got his outer coat brushed and cleaned. I've got all the dirt and like just the stuff that gets picked up, the vegetation from the yard is out. He doesn't even want me to touch him anymore, right? Like, he is done. Isn't that right, Mr. Phin? And I need to respect that. And so we're done. It's as easy as that. The next time he's up on the stand, his next cycle should be after breeding season. And like I was going to say before we got a little distracted, that'll be the time that we probably do a full shampoo, condition, and really, you know, get him cleaned up from all of the fun that breeding season is. So there you go, Mr. Phineas, with a surprise power outage and an unexpected chat about urine-soaked hair and how we handle it. Woo, isn't that exciting for the day? I hope you are all having a fabulous day wherever you are in this world. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Thanks for being a part of my community and sticking around, and I will see you at the back end. Bye for now.